Connor became homeless after being kicked out by his stepdaughter. After he returned a lost phone he found at the railway station where he sleeps, he learned that kindness pays off. Connor hadn't always lived as a vagrant sleeping at a local railway station. At some point he had a job, family, and a place to call home. Connor used to live with his wife and his stepdaughter and he loved them both dearly. He even rewrote his will to give his house to his daughter and wife. But he never imagined that his stepdaughter would kick him out of what was once his own house after his wife's passing. And so his home became the railway station. One day he stumbled across a phone lying not too far from the railway track. It wasn't uncommon for Connor to find people's lost items at the railway track. The phone's battery was dead and it took him several hours to find someone he could borrow a charger from. Connor was eventually able to charge the phone, but he came across another problem. The sensor didn't work because the phone was broken. Connor was determined to try and get the phone back to its owner, but how can I find them without accessing the phone, he thought. He figured he'd just have to use what he had and find the owner using the picture of the woman on the screensaver. Connor wandered through the railway station trying to find the owner. "Sorry, do you know this woman?" Connor would ask the passers-by who often wouldn't give him the time of day. Connor was used to being ignored at this point. He'd come to learn that people often didn't consider you worth their time when you were homeless, but he was determined nonetheless. Connor even went to the police station with a photo hoping they could help him identify the woman, but they didn't take him seriously. In fact, they even suspected Connor might have stolen the phone and threatened to arrest him if he continued to bother them on the matter. Still determined, Connor continued searching for the woman on the streets. One day he came across a man who recognized the woman. "That's my neighbor Sally, I know her," the man said. "Fantastic, can you help me contact her? I'd love to get her phone back to her. I'm sure she's been worried sick," Connor said. "Oh, I doubt that. You see, Sally struggles with dementia. She'll most likely even forgotten all about that by now," the man responded. The man eventually gave Connor Sally's address and Connor paid her a visit. Upon his arrival, he was welcomed by Sally's husband Peter and his daughters. Peter explained to Connor that the 61-year-old Sally was in the early stages of dementia and was struggling to accept it. Sally eventually joined Peter and Connor. Connor was finally glad to be able to meet the person he'd been looking for in so long. "Thank you for this, Connor. I imagine it couldn't have been easy finding me. You really went to great lengths to get this back to me," Sally said. "It's my pleasure, Sally. Wish I could have gotten it back to you sooner," Connor said. "You know, since I was diagnosed with dementia, things have been a little tough for me," Sally said. "I can imagine. Good thing you have your family to help you out," Connor remarked. "Yes, that's true, but honestly it was a little hard considering it was hard for them to trust me since my diagnosis," Sally explained. "It's been a learning curve for all of us," Peter added. "It definitely can't be easy on any of you. How'd you lose your phone though?" Connor asked. "Honestly, things became a little tense with my family after everything, and I was hurt they didn't trust me to look after myself. I know they meant well, but I didn't make it any easier," Sally explained. "So Sally decided she'd run away from us and go to a resort alone for Christmas," Peter added with a soft chuckle. "I wasn't running away, love. I needed space. Plus, I guess I also needed to know I could still look after myself. Unfortunately, it seemed that wasn't the case. My memory failed me and I missed my train and lost my phone," Sally explained dejectedly as Peter lovingly held her hand. "My daughters and I found her crying at the train station without her phone. She was sad to lose all her pictures of her and her family. We could care less about the phone, we were just glad Sally wasn't hurt," Peter said. "My pictures help me with my memory, you know? Help me keep track of things, of reality," Sally added. "I'm glad you're well too. And as it turns out, you didn't lose your phone, it just happened to change hands for a second, that's all." "Connor, please join us for Christmas dinner," Peter said. "Yes, please, it's the least we could do to thank you for everything," Sally added. "It would be my honor," Connor said, grateful. Connor and Peter's family had a wonderful Christmas dinner. It had been so long since Connor had been in a warm, welcoming family environment. He had spent a long time alone in the streets, and so he cherished every second with Sally and Peter's family. Later, Peter hired Connor to work in his company. Connor was eventually able to get himself an apartment and became good friends with Sally and Peter.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.